Hi everyone, Sarah Simmons here. Welcome to Power Talks today with the beautiful Marina Testino. Marina and I really connected about how we can make a difference and how we can kind of, through not quite knowing what to do, like having this idea to make impact, just by being creative, by thinking, what can we do to make a difference, and actually going out there and taking action, which anybody can do, we really were able to make impact. And Marina has the most incredible stories about her decision to make impact. So Marina, welcome. It's so wonderful to see you today. And I'm really excited to have a great conversation through the power of being real. This is what you and I bonded over. We don't need to be perfect, just be real and let's share our stories and make impact together. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's amazing to find people that are telling these stories and are really pushing for a brighter future and really reaching to people in a way that is not drilling them, do this, but in a creative way and really pushing for sustainability to become the future.
What was your beginning of your journey, Marina, into kind of wanting to make a difference through what we wear?
So I actually I had just finished Parsons, and I was a bit undecided on what I was going to do, and I wanted to start a clothing brand. But to be able to produce the clothes and do everything, I needed money. So I started modeling. And when I started modeling, I was already part of the fashion industry in a lot of different sectors. But when I started modeling, I realized um, the constant pressure of women to constantly be changing clothes
Yeah.
and look different. And it was really unnecessary pressure that people would feel on themselves and then project to others that they needed to buy and they needed to consume and they needed to be on trend and have the new color and have the new clothes. And it was just so wasteful and so unnecessary that I decided to create a campaign around this and to showcase that you don't need all this stuff, all these looks to be part of the fashion industry. That it doesn't mean the more money you spend on clothes, the more cool you are within the industry. So I created this campaign called One Dress to Impress. And I wore a red suit every day for 2 months. And the idea was really to appreciate your clothing. Like buy an outfit that you love, that you feel comfortable in, and that you want to wear. And instead of buying different looks, accessorize it and look into your closet. We have so much stuff in our closets. And it really is like look what you have and try to create new outfits within what you already own instead of continuously buying. And at the end of the day, being part of the fashion industry is being creative. It's not having money to spend on stuff. It really is like what can you create from what you already have.
To wear the same dress for 2 months and go to all these fashion events, I think there's a lot to talk about in terms of how you felt and feelings. Because I think that a reason why people are always shopping, we've had this insatiable need to buy, is because of not feeling quite good enough. And I think when we can like begin to be more conscious and answer like that actually we're good enough inside ourselves, it means that we can be more conscious in how we dress because we don't need that new thing to feel great. How did you overcome that and what was the result?
Well, obviously, it was a bit scary at the beginning, and my whole family is in the fashion industry, and they were all against it. So that was not.
Why were they against it? Why were your family against you wearing the same outfit for two
I
months?
mean, obviously, it is kind of going against the industry. How can I be a model and then go against and promote wearing the same thing? Why would brands want to pick me over another girl to do their campaign if I'm promoting the same outfit? So it was really a tough decision because it was putting myself in a position that maybe I can't be part of this industry, and maybe I can't be accepted by it, or get money from it, or live from it. So it was really a personal decision that I decided that was necessary to be talked about and to tackle, because there was so much overconsumption and so much misinformation about it that I felt the necessity to open up and talk about it, even though if it might cost my career, if it might cost me have to move to another industry and find another way of living, of surviving. So I think it was difficult at the beginning, but as I started doing it, I realized that people needed to hear about it and needed to wake up to it, and not only consumers but also brands.
So when you say people needed to hear about it, you mean what? Like, we don't need to be overly buying for the sake of buying, with this filling this insatiable need. We can actually wear and treasure the items that we have and reuse them and wear them again, even to very, very newsworthy functions.
Yes, and not only that, but also this idea, as I mentioned before, that you can't be part of this industry, of the fashion industry, unless you are in trend, unless you're wearing the new color, unless you're constantly different, looking different. So it was really this idea that I was talking about it from a point of view of being within this industry. I wasn't talking about it from a point of view like, oh, like I'm here and I'm gonna wear the same red suit, like who's gonna listen to me? But I was talking from a point of being part of this industry, of knowing the industry, of having followers within the industry, and really putting myself out there to be like, look, I'm going to do it and nothing's going to happen. I hope so. Or that, so it was really this decision of making a point, and hopefully being right on that point, and
Well, you were right on the point. You made the decision to wear the same red dress for 2 months to every occasion you went to, and you had incredible publicity results that you never would have dreamed of. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I as I mentioned, like I really did it because as more of a personal challenge.
Really incredible, Marina, like to share like this tip to our audiences, to make a decision, do something different, go through the step of fear, also not listening to the naysayers around you, following your heart, because your heart always knows right, even if it's scary to do something different, and even if you're going to uncharted territories. When you do something different from the sense of your deepest intuition, following your heart, then really incredible, awesome and magical things can happen to you in terms of the new doors that open for you. And what's the biggest, like the most meaningful result that came out of doing this challenge for you in this activation?
I think the most meaningful thing was when I started getting messages from people that they wanted to try it. And they were sending me their looks, and they were telling me like, look, this is what I'm going to try for a week or for the month. Or so I thought that was really impactful. And it wasn't only women, but it was also men. So I thought that was really, like, it was worth it. It was worth it that I was able to at least spark something in people to try it and to really think about it. And some of the people that tried it were people from the fashion industry, and were people that like me, that were like really working within this industry. So they were really going against the own industry to try this challenge, and to really rethink everything.
Totally. So if we could dream a new future for conscious consumerism within the fashion industry, how would that look for you? I can share how it would look for me. From my side, it would be running on real-time production, so that the world is fast-paced production, it's sample units in stores, it's limited edition collections, it's timelessness in seasons. It's all about bringing something, having a limited range, and then having the suppliers around the world produce that, just exactly cut it to what a customer needs, and then the customer having something that's limited and special and that's timeless. And also timeless meaning, as you said earlier, that it can be accessorized into all sorts of new ways, so that you're actually going to keep it for 5 years, not 1 year, one season. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years is what we want to see. And the second point would be innovation in terms of fabrications, that we can do the plastics from the ocean, we can turn those into recycled and new incredible fabrics. So over to you. What's your dream for a conscious consumerist future in fashion?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And I think something also very important, as you mentioned, like the textiles. There's so much research that we can do to replace polyester and replace all these fabrics made of plastic, that we really need to put in money and research and find new solutions for that. And also circularity is a huge one. There's so much fabric waste that we really need to have these companies reuse this, like all the stuff that they throw away, like we can use it into different items, we can circulate it and remake stuff from that.
Yes. And from a creative direction point of view, what would be your tips to the industry and to brands? Because it's been very difficult for sustainability to be sexy and ultimately to be shown as sexy. And ultimately, we buy because of desire, and that is the same. Like, that's why we buy, and that's the positivity of buying pieces. And that has, I believe, when you can marry together something really sexy and desirable with something sustainable and conscious, then you can really fly in terms of being able to make a big change in the industry through the sales that we can make. So how would you advise like brands and people out there to creatively direct their sustainable collections?
That's a tricky, because I mean, right now there's so many small sustainable brands, and I really think these brands have to unite forces with bigger brands, and the bigger brands need to start researching, accepting young designers, accepting all these new technologies to change their production, because there's so many sustainable small brands, and they're not going to get anywhere without a push, and they're not going to get anywhere without a design that sells. So there's many people that have the technology, that have the textiles, but don't have the design mind, don't have the fashion mindset, which is at the end of the day the one that you need to sell to the fashion industry. Because you can sell to a couple of people, but at the end of the day, it's really changing the fashion industry to become more sustainable and more conscious. So we really need to merge these young designers, textile manufacturers with big brands and make the change together.
I think that's awesome. And that can happen in so many innovative ways, this merging together of the innovators with the established.
Mm-hmm.
And like, the established need to innovate, and the innovators need to have the kind of the processes, the systems, the market awareness of the big established companies. And I think that's an incredible vision for how conscious consumerism can take off at scale, is actually like build a platform, bring these two, like these big eons of the industry with these big innovators, and let everybody learn and collaborate and innovate together, learning the best of each skill set to actually make a difference. There we go. That's an amazing, awesome vision for conscious consumerism, Marina. And I think we need to make that happen. So what's your current activation that you're working on, and how do you want to take your activations forward in the end of 2020 and into 2021?
So currently, I actually just launched a filter 2 days ago for Coastal Cleanup Day. And the idea of the filter is a continuation of one of my activations called We See Through. So We See Through was based on raising awareness on the microplastic problem within the oceans and the amount of plastic entering our oceans every year, and how the fashion industry is a big contributor to that, because we're overproducing polyester clothing, which is plastic, which sheds plastic every time we wear it. So the filter consists of a plastic bottle across your eyes. And the idea is that even though we don't see the plastic pollution, it's there. And it's a filter to remind us that plastic pollution exists, that if you go to a beach and you don't see it, it doesn't mean it's not in another beach somewhere else in the world. So I thought it was a filter to talk about this problem and raise the awareness that it's there and that we need to act, and it's not invisible.
And so, can anyone use the filter?
Yeah, so everyone can use the filter. They can go to my Instagram and they'll see the filter on it. So use it.
I will use it. And I think that's the thing, is like using technology, which to spread the message of and to collaborate with everybody who's like-minded, bringing everybody together. I think that what's your opinion on how empowering digital can be, the digital economy, the digital world can be, if it's in social media, if they're used in a good way, can be to the spread of conscious consumerism around the world. What's your view on that as a Gen Z?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a new way of communicating. Like nowadays, so many people use social media, and making something fun but informative is the way to spread awareness. And it's no longer write a paragraph and someone will read it. It really is do something visual and someone will see it and talk about it. So I think it's a really strong tool that you can use in an artistic way, but also an informative way.
I totally agree with you. What would be I think the key right now for brands around the world is to absolutely use social media to share their voice and their message and their real stories. Like, what would be your 5 top tips on how to really like improve the visual self of your social media from a brand's point of view?
I think being true to the story, it's very important. Obviously, all these brands are doing a marketing strategy of like, we're launching this and this is the message and we'll have this face. Has the face ever talked about sustainability? Has the face ever said anything about this topic? Because if not, it's not credible. Like, I'm not gonna buy a new sustainable capsule collection from a brand that has a model that has modeled for 10,000 other brands, and I don't believe that this is a sustainable capsule collection.
Yeah. So authenticity, number one.
Yeah, authenticity is super important, and then transparency. Like okay, you're saying it's sustainable. Why is it sustainable? What are you doing? Like really establishing the production process, the cost, the materials, because obviously it's a buzzword, and if you can't just throw it there, put the facts up front.
Yeah.
Then I think we need to research. I really think there needs to be a heavy research on materials. Like we can't just jump on the wagon and the first thing we see is what we're going to do. Like really research, okay, what are the most sustainable materials? What can we do? How can we incorporate them? And then packaging is a huge one. I think packaging is something that we're not talking about, and it's you literally open the box and used it for 2 seconds and it's thrown away. So that's something that big brands need to tackle and need to find ways of creating packaging that is sustainable, that is biodegradable.
And collaboration.
Yeah, and collaboration. Yeah, definitely.
Like, I love that, you know, we coming together today and we're having this conversation. We each have completely different audiences, and but yet those audiences are bonded by wanting to know more about living consciously, consuming consciously, and together we can just come together and share these messages for impact around the world. So to our audiences as well, like, download Marina's plastic, what do you call it?
It's a we see through filter.
What's it called? A filter.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it and make a video. Do it, make a video, like, take action, wear a dress for the same for 1 week, wear it to different events, make a statement out of it. Like, take your social media and bring it to life with real stories, both visually and in the written word, as those two things need to connect to your audiences with the mind, the body, and the soul.
You're actually creating this platform to help individuals and brands how to market themselves and help them how to get into the market and really push them on how to explain, because at the end of the day, a lot of brands and a lot of individuals know how to create the product but don't know how to express it or how to bring it to life. So could you tell us a bit more about what you're doing?
Totally. So I've been in the fashion industry for 20 years. I worked as a buyer for Harvey Nichols for 7, and I've been a sustainable and impact entrepreneur for the last 15. So I launched the first sustainable luxury denim brand in the world, and I have had the first Instagram platform selling the top conscious brands to the world's top clients. And what I saw through all of my journey is how, you know, it's like the market, the customer wants conscious brands. They want products that are different. They want products that tell a story. They want products that are truly limited and special. And they want to feel special. They want to wear pieces that are meaningful. And I just see this brilliant opportunity. Like, the customer wants innovation, but it's up to the brands to be able to know and learn how to bring their innovation to the customer. And the way to do that is to be where the market is. So you really need to talk to the customer in the way that they're familiar. So visually talk to the customer in the way they're familiar. Storytelling, talk to the customer in the way they're familiar. And then it's all about having the right frameworks and tools to actually make your sales and make your connections with who you want to make, digitally and physically. So through all my experience and expertise, I built together a roadmap and frameworks that give individuals who want to launch an impact business and brands who want to transform for the conscious age all the tools to be able to do that. From most importantly is pulling out what's unique about yourself and going, like, having experts to actually show you that path, what's unique about yourself, to turn up the volume on and clarify that message to your audience. Because what people tend to do is focus on 15 things rather than the top 3 things that make them most unique. And as you saw, Marina, the power of one dress when you tell that message consistently is really incredible. So I teach people the frameworks of having goals and knowing, seeing a roadmap for their future, then what impact they want to make, then how to build their hero product strategy. So if you're an innovation supplier, or if you're a brand, how do you take that innovation or your collection and actually put it into a system and a direct to consumer system so that you can make your sales? And then how do you tell your story, as we were talking earlier, with creative direction to make your connection to your clients, both visually and in storytelling and in video? And how do you build the connections that you want to make digitally with people all over the world? These are some of the tools that I share. And I think the top thing is to give people the clarity on really what makes them unique, and then a system to follow to make their sales and their success. Because as you said, it's like there's so much opportunity right now, but there's so many small brands that kind of struggle. How do they market and sell themselves? And then there's big industry that's struggling. How does it innovate because people are walking away from buying the same products. They're walking away from the big brands, not because they don't want to go shopping, just because they don't want to see the same things again and again and again. And they no longer want to buy without a meaning, which actually, like, we want to wear a t-shirt which connects to our true identity of who we are. So the processes and the impact coaching that I teach serves both sides of people. And also it serves the third side of people, the entrepreneur or the yet to be entrepreneur that actually has this burning desire inside themselves, like you had, to, you know, to make this impact, to go against the grain. But it's like, how do they do that? So the process is teach everybody, because my goal is to use my skill to be able to bring everybody together in the industry to have the right tools and processes so that we can collaborate, so that people have the systems, so that we can actually transform our world to be truly conscious. Because you can't do that by having a great idea and not having the right frameworks and processes if you're an individual, an entrepreneur, or a small brand. And you can't do that as a big company without having innovation and authenticity. So that's kind of a bit about me. We hope that we've shared with you like some amazing insights, tips, and opportunities for impact today. Marina, it's been such a pleasure to see you today and to learn from you, and to hear your experiences, how just taking a decision to be real and to say and to be brave like led to the most amazing opportunities for you that then give you courage to do more within this sphere. I hope that today has been inspiring for you as well.
No, thank you so much, and thank you for giving me this platform to talk about my activations and what I do.
My pleasure. Let's do more. Let's all come together and join forces and collaborate. We are one. Let's make conscious living and consuming consciously the new norm.
Definitely.
Sending you love, and thank you for being with us today.
Bye. Thank you.